everyone, maligayang Pasko. My name is Jen Della Vega and I'm in the Essex Market Test Kitchen. Super excited to be here and to teach you 2 ways to make pancit for our Noche Buena feast. Special thanks to Essex Market for helping us source a lot of the vegetables and proteins that you see in front of me. So the very first thing we're going to do is soak our bihon noodles in cold water. So while we're prepping all these things, that's essentially enough time to make sure these are ready to cook. And if you didn't get bihon noodles, rice vermicelli works as well. So go to the sink. Okay, we're gonna let this soak while we prep. Okay, let's turn on the stove. Gonna need it on medium heat. And the first thing going into the pan is our vegetable oil. And we are frying a whole head of garlic. Half of it we're going to reserve for the cooking process, and the other half is going to be crisped up for the topping. Cool, so we're going to saute the garlic for 2 to 3 minutes until it's golden brown, and we'll put it back into our bowl. It's like not a Filipino meal if you don't smell garlic when you walk into the house. Okay, it is kind of getting dark brown like my mom likes it. Okay, so we're gonna move this back into the bowl. It's all right if it's mixed in with some of the raw stuff. I don't mind. And make sure to keep the majority of the oil back in the pan. All right, the next item we throw into the pan is the Chinese sausage, so we can release some of the lovely pork fat. These are already mostly cooked. We just want to have a garlic and sausage infused oil for cooking everything else. Just enough, just a minute or two to just, until they're shiny and releasing that oil. So we have sausage or garlic flavored oil. Hooray. Okay. So we're keeping the pan hot because we are going to cook the other proteins. So don't get mad at me, but this is how my mother told me to do it. We are going to cook the pork and the chicken together until they're fully cooked and opaque. So if you feel like your vegetable oil was absorbed by all this meat, you can add a little bit more. So what we're looking for is fully opaque, no more pink stuff on either of the meats. They should have seized up a little bit, and you should hear it sizzling. I would say that is pretty good because we're going to continue to cook it, so it's all right if you missed a few. This is where we're going to diverge a little bit from the instructions. If you could find the chicken bouillon, this is where you would sprinkle it on, but since I could not get it today, I'm going to just put in chicken broth. So if you have the chicken bouillon, this is where you would sprinkle it on top, and we're gonna add half of the fried garlic. The other half we're gonna save for topping. Okay. Next, we're gonna start adding our fresh vegetables, starting with the celery. Oh yeah, sprinkle it around. Your julienne carrot. And if you're including it, add your shrimp. These are already peeled, but if you were going to peel them yourself, my mom says to crush up the shrimp shells in the broth beforehand and cook that a little bit so you have a little bit of umami boost in your broth. And this is where we would add our 2 cups of water if you're using the bouillon. But if you're not using the bouillon, I would say 2 cups of chicken broth. And it would be roughly half this package. Just about enough. It should reach halfway up this pan. Should. Okay, so we're gonna bring this up to a boil. Make sure to get the shrimp under the broth here so they cook. This looks amazing so far. I would just eat this part. You can see that the shrimp is already getting pink. We don't want to overcook the shrimp. Oh yeah, these are medium shrimp. My mom recommends bay shrimp because they're really, really small and you can get them in every bite. But if you can just find medium or large shrimp, you can use whatever you like. Okay, once it's come up to a boil, lower it to a medium simmer. Don't want to evaporate all of this lovely broth just yet. Now we're going to add some umami. First in some soy sauce. And then some oyster sauce. Make sure to stir that in thoroughly. And at this point, this is where my mom says you should taste the broth and see if it's where you want it to be, because the key here is the pancit noodles are going to soak up this rich broth. And so if you don't like the taste of it right now, you should add a little bit more oyster sauce or soy sauce, or if you have it in your pantry, Maggi seasoning. At least that's what my mom uses. So I'm gonna try a little bit here, see if we like it. Oh yeah, that is rich. Good rich. Awesome, so I'm going to drain the water from my noodles and start adding them to the pan. Okie doke, time to add our lovely noodles. Cool. Put that there. Make sure to fold those lovely toppings into the noodles. Make sure they get intertwined and soak up all that broth. Oh, you can see the shrimp is fully cooked now. I love that like the 2 cups of broth is just perfect for soaking into this amount of noodles. Yes. We're gonna let that soak in. So we want to simmer this off until most of the liquid has been absorbed, and then we'll start folding in the rest of our ingredients. So the rest of the ingredients are the cabbage, the snow pea, and the Chinese sausage. We want these to stay relatively crisp so they go in toward the end. So everybody's pancit recipe is different. This one is very protein heavy with Chinese sausage, shrimp, chicken, and pork. It's like a buffet in one dish. But I know family members who only use one kind of protein or just make it vegetarian. So it's a super flexible dish. You just have to remember the essential parts of soaking your noodles, making a rich umami broth, and then adding your vegetables and protein. Almost. So you can tell how much liquid is left if you just scoot everything over and see the liquid tipping when you tip the pan. So I have a little bit more to go, but it's mostly there. Mostly. Cool, so the sizzle has gotten louder. And if I push this away and tilt it, we don't see any liquid. That means that it's been all absorbed, so you have to move quickly here. Start folding in your shredded cabbage. It will wilt as you toss it. So I can actually turn the heat off here. It depends on how you like your cabbage. I like it pretty crispy, so this is when I would turn off the heat. But if you want it cooked down a lot more, you can cook it for another 5 minutes. But I'm going to just start tossing this now. Wow. Massive. Okay. Some more cabbage. You'd be surprised how much a quarter of a cabbage yields. We're gonna add our snow peas for some crunch. Oh, let me make sure I chopped all of it. Awesome. Just make sure everything is tossed together. It's so colorful, it's so holiday. I love it. Amazing, amazing. Oh, how can we forget our Chinese sausage? I'm very sorry. Look at that, that looks amazing. So, make sure you get a little bit of everything. You want to show it off. There's so much in this dish. You want to make sure that it's showcased. Whoa, massive. Maybe a little bit more green. It's a rainbow. So to finish your pancit, lovely, got the noodles in the bowl with the chicken, the pork, the shrimp, the Chinese sausage, snow pea, carrot, cabbage, lots of garlic, and we're gonna add even more garlic by sprinkling some of this fried stuff over it. Ah. I don't know about you, but I would probably make quadruple amount the garlic and just cover the whole thing so you have crunchy bits in every bite. I have some hard-boiled egg here. Just gonna line it up. Cute. Got lots of black pepper. Lemon wedges. You can squeeze as much as or as little as you want at your own discretion. Yeah. Cilantro, and this is the last little bit that marries all of these proteins together. Oh my goodness. That's our pancit. This is the first version, protein-heavy version courtesy of Ditas de la Vega. Thank you, Mom, for transcribing this entire recipe over the phone. And I made sure that the vegetables are not wimpy this time. Cool.